Hello, hello, hello. This is Chris from the channel's Pros and Cons and Comic Tropes, and I thought it might be fun, I hope, to talk about my experience at this past year's New York Comic Con. Now, this is a live stream, so I'm just giving folks a minute to realize that it's streaming and join if they want to. Might get some questions, some feedback, helps with the vibe. Vibes are important on a live stream. But I've got some just comics and things that I picked up. I've got some photos, and probably will end up telling a few stories. But I just want to start by saying this, I think, was my favorite New York Comic Con. And that's saying a lot because I've been going to it since the very first one. And I've got a lot of great experiences. But this was really, really nice convention. Yeah, I'll give a shout out to some folks that are jumping into the live chat because I appreciate you folks. That'll make it fun. Hello to Philip and Mango. I did not get to meet Yukimura. I did go to the Kodansha house pop up, but not while he was there. So unfortunately, I did not get to meet him. I do like Vinland Saga a lot, actually. Hello, Beowulf. We are indeed streaming. Hello, Elitador. I really did have fun. I had such a great time, and I thought I'd try to share a little bit of that with you folks. I guess there's two things that I could show. I could either show the comics and such and merch that I picked up, or I could show the photos and talk about what made the convention special. Any quick opinions from the live chat, which you might want to see first, the photos and stories or the comics themselves? Yeah, I'll just start by saying this. Like Beowulf brings up, the the experience for me started a little rough in that the night before, I had two things happen. One, I thought my cat got out of the house when I went to take out the garbage because all of a sudden I couldn't find her and her brother was like meowing for her, which he usually only does when he can't find her. They love being together. So we spent hours like going up and down the streets calling for my cat. Long story short, she was just hiding in the house. We tried to search the house, but she was hiding. She just showed up the next day. And the second thing was, unfortunately, my wife wasn't feeling very good at the last minute. She does have a cold right now, and so at the last minute, she had to make the tough call not to come. So it started off a little rough, but the convention itself was fantastic. Yeah, the cats. Here, let me see. What did I post for images? I guess because I did a few things that were comics related that weren't necessarily at the convention as well. I went to Mike Mignola's gallery. He had a gallery show at the Philip Laboon Gallery in Soho. Beautiful artwork. Beautiful. Pages from the comics, of course, as well as sketches, as well as paintings. So a real treat to examine that artwork up close. And Mike Mignola and his wife, Christine, were also there. So I got to talk to them. Just good timing. I lucked out on that. And then I went over from there to Kodansha, the manga publisher, had a pop-up event. You could sit on like a replica of the Akira bike. By the way, it was definitely kid size, so it doesn't look that awesome. But they also had a lot of their comics, like in a reading corner. They had a lot of history on the wall. It was really, really nice. Right. So I've heard a conflicting report that it wasn't necessarily a fist fight, but a verbal argument. That's what I heard from somebody who told me they were there. But Peach Momoko did a cover for Todd McFarlane for a Spawn comic. And some of those were signed by Todd himself. Now, the people that could get in line are supposed to only be the actual fans that are attending the convention. You have to have your badge. There's lots of different badges, exhibitor, press, artist alley, fans, also retailers. Retailers were excluded from this. However, what the retailers do for exclusives like this that are very valuable is they rent a badge from like, you or me. They just come up to somebody and go like, hey, renting badges. I'll give you $100 to swap badges for an hour. Okay, $100. Sure, we'll swap badges. I can still stay in the convention. And now they can get into line pretending that they're not a retailer. My understanding is that two retailers were in line and called each other out and got into a verbal argument, not a fist fight. But if you see, ash cans, sort of giveaway copies of comics that are given away at like certain panels, new magic cards for a panel like that, or exclusive covers that drop at a convention. If you see those pop up on eBay right away, unfortunately, that is typically a retailer scalping that. And they usually have to pay a little bit of a premium to get around the rules. It goes for a lot of money. That's awesome. I'm glad that you got to go and do something special like that. That's really nice to hear. Hey, nice to talk to you again, sister. But lovely to have a bunch of you folks in here. Tell you what I'll do is I'll just bring up some photos real quick. I think that could be fun. And so there you have it. There's me at the main entrance. They also at the Javits Center, which is an absolutely massive convention hall if you've never been there. One of the biggest convention centers I've ever been to. But New York is, retail's at a premium. Fortunately, they do have this huge area in front that's probably for like loading and unloading or something like that. But it sort of acts as an outdoor lobby where they also have food trucks. So if you need a little bit of space, that's a nice experience. Hey, Jeannie. It's also a cool place to see a bunch of cosplay. There's a little more space. So, cosplayers will just sort of hang out there to get their pictures taken. Like, for instance, this one, I thought that was a pretty clever Venom, obviously riffing on the run from Donny Cates and Ryan Stegman, beating up Peter Parker and Miles Morales, but he's got the little wings. I have not seen Venom 3. I guess that came out today. Maybe I'll go see that tomorrow. We'll see how that is. But let's focus on. Look at how amused these people are up in the corner. That's awesome. That's awesome. I just thought that was well done. Look at that Toy Story cosplay. Cosplay has become one of the most entertaining aspects, in my opinion, of going to a comic convention. There I am, just like waving. Like a lot of book publishers were represented. Not as many like, DC, Dark Horse, IDW. They didn't have booths anymore. I don't know if they'll ever go back to having them. But places like Simon & Schuster, Scholastic, they definitely have a presence. And they showcase, the comics that they're making. And I appreciated that, actually. It made it feel way more comics heavy this year than it has in the last few years since the pandemic. There was still a big comics presence, as well as like some of the up and coming imprints and smaller press publishers, Mad Cave, Tiny Onion, who else? Ghost Machine. They were all represented. So while you didn't have the massive Image Comics booth, at least you had some of those big name creators that still had a place together. And I like that. Oh, Daniel, you're getting ahead of us. Let's see what else. Yeah, there I am going, oh, there are still mystery box pavilions, but I didn't come across like 6 mystery box booths. There might have been 2. Let's see. Webtoon had a big presence. That makes sense. They're growing by leaps and bounds. Bad Idea, and they were giving away an ash can for this upcoming sci-fi book. The art, I have to say, is pretty incredible. But I'll show that to you guys. I'll show that to you all. I think people understand that mystery boxes aren't the best value anymore. Giant Generator wasn't like represented by a booth. They had some announcements and stuff that went on, but no Giant Generator. But yeah, I heard that Zeb Wells is doing a book with Rick Remender's company, and I'm glad. Yeah, nice bumping into you too, Xavier. Bumped into a lot of viewers. Very flattering. You guys made me look cool in front of my friends, so thank you. Disney and First Second. They're a great publisher. I've gotten some great books from First Second over the years. I was happy to see this kind of stuff represented personally. There's Mad Cave. They had a pretty big booth, to be honest. And Mad Cave has had a good year with Flash Gordon and Dick Tracy, among other things. Also some non-licensed books. Imaki is a Korean like webtoon company. I don't know their whole deal, but they did have tons of physical books to just give away. I was a lot to give away there. A nice piece of Green Arrow cosplay. It's always tricky to figure out where to put your badge when you're a cosplayer. I don't know if that was as cool as maybe up here, but what do I know? Up, there we go. Who was asking about that? Daniel, we were saying no fudge booths. No, there were fudge booths, but I don't think I saw more than 2. And that's a big step down from like the 4 that might have been at the last year's. Massive has a presence. Massive, same company as Whatnot. So, at least it's more comics on the show floor. I like that. Just sort of a quick glance at the walkways before it got too crowded. This was very early on Saturday, very early. Honestly, I think it's just that these are big companies that are happy to buy the booth space at any kind of a convention. I think that's all it is. I would say it was pretty big, to be fair. Good pun, though. It was pretty big. All right, I'll keep rattling through these, just sort of like giving you an idea of like what the crowds are like. I hope that this helps you feel a little bit like you are experiencing it. Oh, this is at Mad Cave. They had Joe Quesada's imprint represented with like T-shirts. That's Joe Quesada's upcoming comic book imprint. It's called Amazing Comics. We don't know a whole lot about it yet. There's a QR code, but I'm not going to zoom in for that. What else? Oh, some sort of I just appreciated what this was. That's a mirror, and so you could look like the wicked queen or wicked stepmother from Snow White, the Wicked Witch. Which one was this? This is First Second. Oh, Abrams. Abrams had a pretty big presence because that's where Frank Miller does his comics now. I don't know if we'll ever get the full story on why the company he made with Dan DiDio the other year went away, but they also had The Road, and I did pick that up. I'll talk about that when I show some of the comics here in a little bit. Is it bigger? I would say that San Diego Comic-Con is still the best known, longest running. In terms of, celebrity guests, you might be able to argue San Diego gets a few more. In terms of people that come through, I think New York might be a notch bigger. This year, and it's still a little down from before the pandemic, but this year they had over 200,000 people go through, and it showed. I need to catch up on Agatha all along. I supported that Kickstarter, and overall, I like it. I like the art a lot. And I just love that, like, no matter where you are, there's always like cosplay or like some sort of nerdy piece of clothing. Everything is fighting for your attention at a convention this size. It's a spectacle. If you want like an intimate experience where you can like learn about the comics and talk to the creators, there are some what I'll call mid-size that are still pretty big conventions like Baltimore Comic-Con or MegaCon or things like that across the country. This is spectacle, but the Artist Alley is fantastic. We'll get there. Oh, nice. I'm glad to hear that. That should be fun. Vault was represented. Hey, Steve. I know, I didn't see you. Oh, you got recognized? That's so cool. Congratulations, Steve. Thank you for the support. I really appreciate it. I was looking for you, man. I was looking for you. Sorry we didn't cross paths. Just a fun statue. I love Godzilla. Did I lose my place? Hold on. Everything froze. That's weird. My, hold on a minute. My screen froze. Maybe I can just refresh it. Okay. Let's do it like that. There we go. Thanks, everybody. Just some cool statues. There was a Godzilla booth. I should have said that. There was a Godzilla booth. Oh, look at that. Like, I'm way behind. I only watched like the first half of season 1 of House of Dragon, but I gotta say that looks like Matt Smith. How dare you? You put a hex on me. Yes, 70s cartoon Godzilla, where instead of atomic breath, he had fire breath and a little nephew. Lots of One Piece stuff. Boy, One Piece is popular. Massively popular. There's Ghost Machine. They were sharing sort of a booth with a big comic book chain in New York called Midtown Comics. So up front, like Midtown was selling books by the creators behind Ghost Machine, although they wouldn't sign books that weren't like Ghost Machine books or purchased there. Like if you went up to Jeff Johns with, I don't know, we'll say Blackest Night and asked them to sign it, my understanding is they wouldn't sign it. But on the other side, it's just sort of Ghost Machine, and they've got like, they were just all the creators like, Brian Hitch and Jason Fabok and stuff. They were just there signing stuff. It was really nice, honestly. Hey, more support. Went to NYCC with my friend who is a new father. Bought his tickets for Father's Day. Looking back at all the pictures, he had a huge smile on. Happy AF. That's so nice to hear. I think it was just a great convention. A lot of wonderful people there. A lot to do. A lot of news that broke out. Oh, at the Ghost Machine table, I saw that little sketch at the signing table. I guess Brian Hitch was just doodling, and he doodled Redcoat. I'm going to sneeze. Sorry about that. That's what happens with a live show. Thanks, Winston. Winston will sign it if Jeff won't. Oh, this is Walmart had a big booth, and they basically had two things to it, two aspects. One, lots of Ninja Turtles merchandise. Okay. So it looks like a Ninja Turtles booth. This was Walmart, though. Okay. Hey, if Walmart wants to foot the bill, and you can get some Turtles stuff, thank you. And then they also had Atlas Comics, the 70s one. I'll talk about that in a little. Izzy, yeah, great seeing you. Izzyverse, if you haven't seen, has like a channel. That's his channel name. And he was kind enough to do a quick interview with me on his channel. And that was fun. That was fun to catch up. Yeah, I keep saying like one of the best. And then I go, well, what would stop me? Yeah, the best. I just had a great time at this one. I don't know. Just a great time. Also, he was so excited to go to Artist Alley as much as I was. He loved meeting Kyle Higgins. Kyle is like one of the kindest guys I've met in comics, and other artists, mainly a manga anime fan, but got him into American comics. Good. All right. So what else did they do here? Oh, I forget which booth this was, but look, that's like the old fashioned Hasbro, or no, Kenner. It was Kenner, right? That you made the Star Wars toys in the late 70s and 80s. My sister had this one, right, Ginny? You had an R2D2, and it looked exactly like this, with like the sticker here and a little bit of like shininess to the head. And they've just like made it like full size, but that's what the original Kenner action figure looked like. I remember Jeannie and I didn't have tons and tons of toys when we were super young, and certainly not lots of Star Wars, but we both liked it. She had a Princess Leia and an R2D2. I had like Ben Kenobi, Luke in his X-Wing outfit, couple aliens. Randy, always good to talk to you. Glad you had a good time considering all the stuff you went through. It was dramatic. But I'm here, and I got there. I sure did. Yep, that was a good R2. I thought that this was just kind of cute. I mean, if you had shown me toys like this when I was in like 3rd grade, oh my god, I would have been doing backflips because I loved Transformers when I was young, but they certainly didn't have the articulation and detail that these do. I was at the Walmart booth. Yep, you'll see Sal in a little bit. I definitely got to say hello to him and Tiffany. That was awesome. There's a G8 documentary on Kenner, I think, on Hulu. Okay, I would watch that. I find the history of Kenner and Hasbro and some of the other companies like Mattel very interesting. Oh, okay. So here we are. Atlas Comics. If you don't know what it is, I go into much more detail on a Comic Tropes episode just about it. But super short version, the original founder of Marvel Comics in the 70s had already sold Marvel, decided to start another company. I'm trying to keep it real brief. It was called Atlas Comics, and they got a lot of talent. We're talking guys like Howard Chaykin, Steve Ditko, Larry Hama, Larry Lieber, Stan Lee's brother, who like co-created characters like Ant-Man. A lot of great talent. A lot of great talent. Neil Adams, I think, did some covers and stuff. It only lasted about a year. None of the comics had more than about 3 issues. Somebody has bought the rights to Atlas. They're trying to make movies and toys. They've got these Mego toys. They were giving them away though at the Walmart booth. I'll take a free Mego toy. So yeah, that's what was going on there. I got Devilina. I'll show you a little later. Devilina, I think, had 4 issues, so she was the outlier. Oh, the lights sort of made this look weird. It was very bright in person, but cameras do weird things. I love Gachapon. I was just taking a picture of Bandai's Gachapon machines, but I'll tell you something. Oh my God, was that pricey? You had to buy tokens, and it was something like $10 for like 2 tokens, which so basically about $10 for like a Gachapon thing. Whereas if I go over to Japan, it's going to be closer to like $2. Maybe $3 for things. So I was just like, oh, I want to get Gachapon because I love some of the things they have. I'll wait till January. I'll wait. They are pretty fun. Wolf the Barbarian, Larry Hama, absolutely. Yes. Tubi has some great documentaries. I totally agree. Artist Alley, sometimes in the lean years, has a lot of like fan art, and I'm not trying to disparage that. You know, some of these people are up and coming. They need like to get it their stuff seen by people. There are emerging artists at all times, but it's exciting to go there and get to see some of your favorite creators, and they had a lot of great names this year. I like that. I like that. What else was there? You could take a picture in a Gachapon capsule. One Piece. There you go. They've got this massive Luffy. It's not a statue. It's like an inflatable, but it's just humongous. Ultraman. I think that Bandai was doing this booth too, but you know, this is from that new Netflix cartoon for Ultraman, which I guess was very popular. They had a guy like in costume as the character, and that just flat out looks like he does on the show. It was good. I liked it. SH Figuarts had a bunch of like upcoming toys represented, and like then they had this in full size. That's Kaiju #8, pretty popular manga and anime. That's the same one that will be in Macy's Parade. That I didn't know. Okay, well that's kind of it is massive. Oh, got it, got it. Okay, so it's like they've got a small version for the conventions and then a big version for the parade. Okay, that's cool to know. That is cool to know. Yeah, some Kaiju #8 figures that are coming out, very detailed. SH Figuarts are good. They're pricey, but they're good. That isn't available right now. What's that mean? Okay, there we go. More. Oh yeah, this is all Chainsaw Man. I was a little tempted to get this one, but I'm not super into Chainsaw Man. But I do like Tatsuki Fujimoto, the creator. I like his art a lot. Berserk. Oh, I want to buy all of these, but I won't let myself. But I want to. I love Berserk. I love it. Like it's cool to see some of these supporting characters represented, and this Nosferatu Zod figure looked just incredible. Oh, and I really like this one of the main character Guts with like the ghost version of oh, all of a sudden I'm blanking on her name, but like, the little witch girl. Best figure maker is probably Hot Toys, but I'd probably put something like SH Figure Arts right underneath, Bandai stuff. Which horse? I don't think that's a special horse. It's just one that Griffith rides. My ancient father randomly asked, have you ever heard of this show, One Piece? It's like if you're even a little tangentially connected to nerd stuff, you've at least heard that name. You might not have watched it or read it, but you've heard of it. Yes, Shirky. Thank you. Thank you, Elithador. These all looked cool too. Some of these Spider-Verse figures. The Spider-Gwen one, like it actually is sort of like a reflective silvery material instead of just white. It actually looked really nice in person. All of these looked nice enough that I was like a little tempted to get them, but I didn't let myself. I didn't buy a lot. You'll see when I show the comics that I got. I didn't buy a lot. Just an idea of like, what the floor looks like. It's such a massive convention center. Viz was definitely represented. They do just about all the stuff that comes out of Shonen Jump that's translated into English. Look at that. When are you ever going to see a Jack of Hearts cosplay except at a humongous convention like this? Jack of Hearts. Props to this cosplayer. Props. This is like the villain from one of those Resident Evil games, right? She was on some sort of stilts. Like she was so high up in the sky. It looked dangerous to me what she was doing, but it was very impressive. Yeah, Jack of Hearts. Isn't that cool? It's just cool because you don't see it everywhere. You love Rooster Fighter, great manga. Okay. I think this is like something like Lady I can't pronounce it. I don't know what it is. What do you call it? Obviously, Beetlejuice just came out, so there was a bunch of Beetlejuice cosplay there. Chrissy, my wife, did ask me to look for Rachel Reagan cosplay, as in that Australian breakdancer at the Olympics that was not so good. And other people told me they saw some Rachel Reagan cosplay. I was looking. I didn't see any. Lady Demistru. Okay. Main villain of Resident Evil 7. She's huge like that in the game. It's impressive to me. Anyway, this one was fun. Just a nice shot of like one of the entrance areas to the main hall with this gigantic Goku. You're always passing stuff that you think is so cool, and like this is me like catching it just as I was about to step like onto an escalator. I was like, oh, that's really impressive, but I didn't really get a good shot. Sorry. Oh, that's so nice to hear that Viz was all super professional and wonderful for customer service. That makes a huge difference. It really does. These girls had like really impressive cosplay. I don't know if that's like professionally paid for or what, but that was just incredible to me. I was just like, whoa, 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 whoa. I did not see the New York Dog Parade. I was a little busy. I'm sorry. There was a Chihuahua with a shrunken head costume. Oh, I wish I did see that. I wish. My Neighbor Totoro. That's beautiful. Congrats to them. Like that takes a while to put together, right? And that's charming. That's so charming. Artist Alley, sponsored by Sandstorm, and that's this huge comic convention in Abu Dhabi. Places like the UAE, United Arab Emirates, they are working very hard to build tourism stuff, including a huge comic convention. Because if you don't know, like a lot of the Middle East is actually, they know that they're running low on oil. They've made like trillions, I assume, but they know that one day that will be gone, and they need to think of like what's the next thing that would bring somebody to this otherwise, like sort of super hot desert area. So they're building things like amusement parks, and they're building a massive convention and trying to build that up. We'll see where that goes. just sort of walking down the escalator, getting to see Artist Alley. Distillery had a presence, big publisher there. Who else? I got to meet Zach Kaplan. I'd actually met him the night before at a bar. We went and I had drinks with a bunch of not celebrities, well, comic creators. I will say I did hang out. One guy that I hung out with that night, Walter Jones, the original Black Power Ranger. We just hung out and had a really great conversation. And what a nice guy he is. Really nice to get to meet him and know him. And he's working on like an 8-page comic for something, but I don't think it's been announced yet. Anyway, Zach is a really nice guy. He wrote this really cool comic called Beyond Real that I picked up. And then I got to meet, and I spent a good amount of time with Jeff Darrow. And Jeff was really charming and funny and kind. Here he is with Mike Richardson. If you guys don't recognize Mike Richardson, guy that founded Dark Horse Comics and is responsible in large part for the Pacific Northwest having a humongous friendly comics environment. So he's really nice. It was great to speak with both of them. They were funny together. Obviously, Dark Horse has published a ton of Jeff's comics over the years. And Jeff gave me this, folks. This is an original pencil piece of art of Shaolin Cowboy. I was like, that's too generous, but Jeff is a very kind person when you get to know him. So that was really, really cool. Xavier got to get a picture of Klaus Janson and Bill Sienkiewicz while waiting for Lee Weeks. I'm jealous. I went by Bill Sienkiewicz's area a few times. I didn't get to meet him this year. Yeah, guys, if anybody is a fan of Jeff, like, yeah, I think that you're feeling some of the excitement and elatement that I did. I was just huge privilege to get a piece of art like that. It was very, very cool. Yeah, I got a Darrow original. And, if you don't know, Jeff, he talked about this a little bit in our interview on Comic Tropes, but he draws in pencil. And then when it comes time to get the final art, he actually light boxes it and then inks it. He doesn't ink on the original pencils because he says he pushes very hard and there's like grooves in the paper and it makes it harder to fill in properly with ink, and he wants it to be cleaner. And so, yeah, there's basically 2 versions of his art, finished art at all times. And this is a pencil. Oh, yeah, they're incredible. And he was selling them for quite a bit, but I think he should honestly be selling them for even more. But it was great. They are pretending to have a big argument, Mike and Jeff. They were pretty funny together. Look at that Mantis cosplay. If you guys can't tell, she could trigger something that made her antenna light up. I was like, what? I asked her for a picture, not knowing that she could do that, and then she turned it on. I was like, that's really cool. I don't know. I admire it. Hello. Oh, I didn't know that, but that does make sense. All the desert environments, but like tech stuff, that makes sense. What else have we got? Of course, I spent a bunch of time with my buddy Jim Mafood, and he sold through all of his physical comics that he brought before Saturday ended. So, yeah, and sold a bunch of prints, sold a bunch of original art. I was very happy for him. I didn't see any classic Mantis cosplay. Oh yeah, the cosplay itself is incredible. One thing that's funny. So I'm there talking to Jim. A guy comes up and he goes, "I'm a fan of Trash Movie Bonanza." Thank you, sir. I appreciate that. His job is, he says, he's the storyboard artist for all the Fast and Furious movies since the 5th one. Wow, that's really impressive. And then he tells us, you guys just reviewed Maniac Cop and we're talking about this huge stunt where a guy goes flying off of a pier when he's hit by a van. Yeah, we thought that was super impressive. He goes, that stuntman is my friend. Hold on. And he gets him on the phone, and the guy just told us a 4-minute story of pulling off that stunt. That was funny. Jim has a good style sense, no question. Yes, legendary film critic. It was fun though that the guy wanted to share that with us. Yeah, oh my god. If you ask me who's the friendliest guy in comics right now, I might have to say Danny. He's incredible. I got to spend several different times throughout the weekend spending time with Danny. Sometimes Danny and his fiance Emma. Sometimes Danny and some of his fellow Irishmen. There were a bunch of Irish artists there. It was great, 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 great. Yeah, it was nice. Let's see what else. Oh, you guys, somebody asked earlier, did I get to meet Sal? Not for long, although, we have each other's numbers. So, like, we message each other here and there. I did bump into him. We took a fun picture. I saw him again. I swung by briefly when he was doing a meet and greet, but he had other fans that wanted to talk to him, and I didn't want to like intrude on that for too long. I wanted to take a picture with Sal and another YouTuber friend of mine, Owen Likes Comics. I wanted us to like take pictures in front of the fudge booths and mystery box pavilions, but we were all too busy. It didn't happen. But it was great to see Sal. He's a really nice guy, and I'm happy for him. Terminator is selling very well, and he gets to write the backup in that. Gets to earn the right to. I'm not trying to diminish it. It's very impressive. I'm happy for Sal. That's a great opportunity. Some Mandalorian and Boba Fett cosplay. Some Venture Brothers Henchman cosplay. I like this upcoming action figure. I get Donatello action figures, and I have to admit, this nerdy one in a hoodie speaks to me. I might end up buying that when that comes out. A Squirrel Girl cosplay, and I told her, I was like, I know the real life woman that Squirrel Girl was based on, Doreen, because Doreen was and still is like the manager at the New England Comics that I used to shop at for many years when I lived in Massachusetts, and she is the basis for Squirrel Girl. Yeah, yeah, I know. It's good, right? The Terminator. There's nothing I can say, but I did get to speak with Declan Shalvey, and he gave me an idea of where it's going, and I found that very promising and interesting. So I'm engaged. I'm engaged for sure. Really impressive Iron Man cosplay. I mean, that just like flat out just looks like Iron Man just walking around. It's crazy that we're at that level where people can like build something like that. Crazy. This is back at the Atlas booth to get like one of those giveaways of the Mego dolls, and they have like stars for some of the artists that worked on them. Of course, I had to take the one of Larry. I'm a huge fan of Larry Hama. There he is signing. I did get a Wolf the Barbarian reprint signed by Larry at that point. That was nice. And then for some reason, John Voight was at the Atlas booth. He obviously doesn't make comics. There's no announced movie or anything that he's going to be in. But John Voight is just there. And you get your action figure, and the people that like work for Mego and Atlas sign it. And then Larry Hama is there because he used to write for Atlas in the 70s. Cool. And also John Voight. Now, without getting into it, John Voight is a good actor. He's been in a bunch of movies that I really like. He has. But without getting into it, like politically, we're miles apart, okay? So I wasn't like necessarily like, oh boy, it's John Voight. I'm there with my buddy, and I decided to make my buddy laugh. I decided to get weird. So when it's my turn in the line to like go past John Voight, because you really can't avoid it. They've set it up that you get the figure, get it signed, get a picture with John Voight. Okay. I just wanted the figure, but okay. I decided to get weird, and I told him, I really loved you as the principal on Saved by the Bell. And this is John's reaction right after I said that, where he's just going like, thanks. He doesn't, I think he thought he misheard, but my friend thought it was very funny. I really liked you as the principal on Saved by the Bell, John Voight. Jerry Springer? Yeah, that sounds familiar, actually. Yeah, Anaconda's fun. There's a good one that he did years ago called Runaway Train that's pretty good. No, I just said that silly little thing and then moved on. Anyway, so I just got weird. It amused me and my friend. That was enough. I'm a little bit of a rascal from time to time. It didn't hurt anybody. He was just like, okay. All right, what else have I got? Oh, there I am just with my buddy Evan, best friend from college, lives in New York, so I spent the day with them. A Luffy, full size. What do you call it? Full size toy? I don't know. Life size. Oh, look at this charming. I'm using that word too much, but look at this adorable Transformers cosplay. This guy shuffled. He didn't really walk. Someone just shuffled, but it was additive. I thought this was so good. The details are fantastic. He's top heavy, but everything is accurate. It looked so good to me. I loved it. I just wanted to give that a moment. Gem? I stopped her. I was like, Gem, may I take a picture? She's like, I didn't think anybody would recognize me. I was like, of course I recognize Gem. I thought she did a good job. Cobra Commander. Very nice. Oh, I wanted to buy this Astro Boy jacket. What can I say? So they've got this varsity jacket, super nice stitching. It's by a streetwear company called Bait. What does that mean? That means that this jacket was something like $250. And I go, oh, I'd really like it, but I was already being frugal with my money, so I didn't get it. I guess how often would I really wear something like that? All I can say is I love Osamu Tezuka. I love Astro Boy. I really do. I think I would wear it, but it's a lot. It's a lot. I wouldn't know where to start building something like that. I wouldn't know where to start. It's impressive. I see what you did there. I probably have, but not a lot. Gavin! Wow! Folks, comic book superstar and New Orleans native Gavin Guidry is here. I got to meet Gavin, and it was a pleasure. Thank you for calling me over, Gavin. I sincerely do admire your work, so it was fun to chat. Yeah, Sly was at the convention one year, wasn't he? I wonder what he was promoting. He was either promoting something or they paid him an absolute fortune to do, signings. So I didn't get that, but I like it is all I'm saying. Took this picture because my nephew is a massive fan of Hatsune Miku. So just showing him, hey, look at all these Hatsune Miku toys coming out that you don't have money for. Maybe your uncle will get you one. Cute Demon Slayer thing. There was something a little creepy about these Simpsons cosplayers. I don't know. The dimensions just didn't quite strike me as right. I admire it in a way too. I'm not making fun of it. It just there was something a little creepy to me. Maybe it's the masks. I don't know. It doesn't matter. Look at that Blue Beetle though. Again, the fact that people can make stuff like this, how do you texturize and make even like these leg pieces or something? I wouldn't have the first clue. I wouldn't have the first clue, but thank you to these people that just add to the fun of going to a big Comic-Con. Just so cool. Agent Venom. When I see characters like this, it's like I want to tell them like, oh, my friends Rick and Tony created that character, but you don't want to slow everything down. I have not seen that. I've heard of it, Winston, but I have not seen it. Oh, yes. Oh, totally agree. Totally agree. Oh, damn, Izzy, that's a good memory. I've been going, like I say, to every single one of these since the beginning, so they do all blend together a little bit. I've got memories of things that I've done or people that I've seen, but could I tell you like what year I met Stan Lee? No, not off the top of my head. What else did we say? Oh, that's just me and my friends having lunch. There's another good Iron Man cosplay while people are getting food. Wiccan? It's well done. It's subtle. Very well done. A Kaiju #8 cosplay. Again, like I wouldn't know where to start on any of this, but I admire it. It's fun. It's cool. Just a shot of an alleyway, a random alleyway. Oh, it froze again. Let me refresh. Yeah, I've heard good things. I haven't seen it. I haven't seen it. Where am I? Okay. I know this is a lot. I want to show you the comics too. There were a lot of inflatable costumes. They look tricky to me to maneuver in, but they're cute. They're cute. Kawaii desu, ne? That was Japanese. Dogman. Dogman, hey, thank you for bringing so many people into comics. Dogman is humongous. I there's an upcoming animated movie, I think, for Dogman. That'll be big. I think that'll be big. Great cosplay of the MCU Daredevil. Hopefully I got a flattering angle for that guy. Probably shouldn't linger on that. I have no idea how Global Comics got away with that. There's a I the cosplay is pretty intense sometimes. And that's not there were things that I thought I shouldn't take a picture of. Those were not. Those I was like, yeah, I can get away with that. Some of the others pretty intense. This is the original first sketch by John Romita for Wolverine's design. It was at Heritage Auction. Heritage always has a few like really high-end pieces that they're showing off that they're going to then auction off. Wow, yes. Wait, you're in the back? Okay, hold on. Let's look past what initially goes for your attention. Oh, is this you that I'm circling right here, Kevin? Next to Andy Pack. Oh, yeah, you're up here. Okay, yeah, that's Andy. That's you. I see. The perspective was throwing me. Ignore all of this. It's vying for your attention. And there's Gavin. Talking to fans. Very good. Let's linger here for a bit. You look at you guys. You all want to look at pictures of Gavin when he's tiny. That's what you want. I love seeing stuff like this. You know, I look at it and I study it and I go, is there anything I can sort of pick up from the technique or anything like that? And if not, can I just take a moment to appreciate, you know, some seminal art in the industry? So, yeah. Oh, they had all the voice actors. These are just some of them. All the voice actors from X-Men 97 were there signing stuff. Good. X-Men 97 was a blast. There I am. This is not my hair. There's a cosplayer behind me. My hair did not suddenly become more full, but I got to meet my friend who I only know online until now, Owen. Great channel. Owen Likes Comics. If you enjoy long form analysis of comics, Owen is somebody that also does that. I mean, I do that on Comic Tropes, but that's what he does. It's less review heavy or explaining. It's more of analysis. I mean, he's getting some sort of like PhD in comics. I do sometimes go Super Saiyan. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. All right. St. Mark's still representing. Man, St. Mark's used to have a great location on the east side. I loved it. Yes, that's kind of you, Gavin. But yeah, let's promote that. And talking to Owen actually over the weekend gave me some inspiration. I had like about 3 ideas I've been working on for Comic Tropes, and they're good ideas, but I got excited, and I think I'm going to put some new ideas that I had from talking to Owen ahead of that. I think I'm going to look at Spider-Man Life Story by Chip Zdarsky and Mark Bagley, and East of West by Jonathan Hickman and Nick Dragata. I think both of those are worthy of a deep dive analysis. But yeah, I'm getting off topic. Owen did put out a really interesting look at the original Ultimate Universe. I couldn't tell you what row this was in. Yeah, they've got right. I think they were asking like where in the convention it was it, but yeah, the actual stores in Brooklyn. I loved their old store in the East Village. Creature Commandos had their own booth, and James Gunn did a surprise appearance, I think, to talk that up. But they had trailers that debuted over the weekend that looked pretty strong. I know that sounds a little fanboy of me, but I honestly think it looks really fun. They had sort of a jail set for the Creature Commandos with these monitors just showing sort of looping animation clips of the various monster inmates. Look at that. That's just cute. Or Gojiro wa kawaii desu. And to reiterate a prior Instagram comment, Jim Mafood agreed you could totally fill a panel room for your next trip. Something to think about. You know what? I'll wait to be invited, though. I don't want to just like I don't want to ask for it. I just don't have a lot of interest in sort of pushing that. But if a convention wanted to invite me and like pay for me to go and stuff, I'd certainly do a lot to promote it. That's good Rhino cosplay. Look at that. Like at the end of the day, he's just wearing a sweatsuit and like then this like really cool helmet. But that's kudos, sir. Kudos, sir. He knew the assignment. Again, if you've seen Deadpool 3, that's some pretty funny cosplay. It's a lot to lug around. It's a lot to lug around. This guy had to just always be carrying it, but it was cool. I love 60s Batman, so thank you, sir, for what you gave us there. A shredder based on the live action movies? First time I've come across that. It was very good. Very good. I think I caught him blinking, unfortunately. Sorry. Sorry about that, buddy. The great Art Adams. Watching him draw is always an interesting education. Oh, Jeremy Bastian, Cursed Pirate Girl. Boy, any chance I get to, I love talking this comic up. Just some of the most intricate artwork you've ever seen. Innovative storytelling across like spreads and fold out spreads. But also like a really great Alice in Wonderland story. It's still ongoing. Jeremy puts it out on sort of his own schedule. It's been going on for a few years, but it's really really good. I really do recommend it strongly. Nice. I like John Romita Jr. quite a bit, so that sounds like a fun person at Rhode Island Comic Con. Are you saying Jeremy is a fellow Michigander? Nice. Kite Man and Golden Glider. Good for you guys. I love that like people will like pick some slightly more obscure characters to cosplay as. This Spawn looked good, and I asked to take a picture. All of a sudden, he hit a button, and his hand began glowing. Wow, didn't expect that. Really well done. Belaine Ortega. She had a line, so I didn't get to talk to her, but I really love her artwork. Yeah, if you haven't been reading Wonder Woman, Miss Ortega has some gorgeous backup stories in Wonder Woman right now. Camilla Derrico is a favorite. Just really great pop art. Or not pop art, pop surrealist art. I don't know. One day, Comic Tropes the Comic Con would be dope. That's probably a little too big, but who knows? Who knows, right? Nice. Thank you, though, Steve. I appreciate you. Really cool helmet. I don't think you can buy these, so I think that this person made that Gundam helmet. I liked it. Look at this. This gentleman here was actually carrying around my Vampirella cover just in case he bumped into me. And my friend Evan was fast with the camera to take a picture, but that was very flattering. That was very, very cool. Because I'm not tabling there. I didn't expect anything like that. No puppeteers that I saw. No puppeteer superhero cosplay. Anyway, that made me feel pretty pretty good. Thank you, sir. You of course I autographed it. I was happy to. If there was more time, I would have drawn a sketch or something. There's my friend's daughter. She got a piece of art. There we are meeting Derek Kirk Kim, also one of the friendliest guys in comics, and I cannot recommend strongly enough The Last Mermaid. Just one of my favorite comics of the year. Probably will be pretty high up in my top 10 of the year, to be honest. No Trapster, no, but maybe one day I'll play Paste Pop Pete. If I ever did cosplay at a convention, that's probably the first thing I do is Paste Pot Pete. And if anybody called me Trapster, I'd go, no. Paste Pot Pete. Last Mermaid, top to bottom, great comic. I'm so glad I got to meet Derek this year. We chat a bunch offline, and it's great. He's super talented, but super kind. Oh, I'm glad a bunch of you guys have tried it out. Because I can't recommend it enough. It's really cool. Oh, Patrick Hovarth. Where is he? Oh, he's back here. Patrick Horvath. I mean, great comic. One of the best horror books of the year. Beneath the Trees Where Nobody Sees. Yeah. Chris Claremont. Always entertaining. A lot to admire there. Eric Larson. I love watching Eric draw. He's got the most unique drawing style you've ever seen. Maybe I've got a picture of that later. Oh, I did get to meet Larry. Got to talk to Larry a bunch. I'm a fan. What can I say? I'm a fan. I don't know what voice I'm doing there. I'm a fan. I know. Where is the rest of them? Oh, look at that. Jorge Corona. I was a little surprised. Jorge always had a few people in front of him, but for how big Transformers is right now, I guess I would have expected even bigger. But maybe I just wasn't coming by when it was like really big. But Jorge, great artist, and I think his work on Transformers is honestly super strong. Way better than it has any right to be. Really good. Thank you, Luke. Appreciate you guys. What else have we got here? Steranko. Look, whatever. I've done an episode on Steranko. I've said all I need to about Steranko. Nick Dragata had a huge presence at look at this guy. I didn't even realize this guy's crazy Nick Cage shirt and pants. That's funny. I did not catch that until just now. I was more excited about Nick Dragata being there. He's been doing great work for a long time, but Absolute Batman is just so big. That's what Steranko says, is that he slapped Bob Kane. Yes, I've heard that Trad Moore draws in a unique way as well. Like really like clutches that pencil. I didn't talk to him. There was a John Cassaday tribute, and I think some of his family was there. They'd had a memorial service. I think it was Thursday night. That Dynamite basically organized, but like Marvel and DC pitched in to work together to put together, and I got an invite, but I also just didn't feel like that was appropriate because I didn't know John personally on any deep level, so I declined, I demurred. But I'm glad to see that the industry comes together for things like that. That different publishers that are competitors will like cooperate there. Because everything I ever heard was not just that John Cassaday was a good artist, but like, a really kind and fun person to be around. I've never heard anything bad about him said. So it was nice that they had that memorial there. They had the same a couple years ago for Kim Jung-gi. It's nice. A panel with a couple comic book YouTubers could be pretty interesting, I bet. Yeah, he was great. We're lucky to have all his comics to remember. Chip Zdarsky and I making faces. Chip is a funny guy. Got to meet Nick Barucci again in person. Nick is really nice to me, and Dynamite's having a great year. You know, Thundercats and Terminator and uh, what Johnny Quest, all sorts of amazing things. Like, it's really impressive seeing what they're doing this year. I just thought that was a cool backpack. You did go, Rob? Joss Whedon was there. Well, yeah, they did do a bunch of work together, didn't they? I think because not just Astonishing X-Men, but John directed an episode of Dollhouse, didn't he? I think he did. Tiny Onion had a booth, and the coolest thing that they had, in my opinion, this is James Tynion's group, his imprint. They had a newspaper box, and you could buy tokens and open it up, and there's a physical little newspaper with news about the comics industry. I love it. I hope it's at every convention someday. It was really cool. The eyes are the window to the soul. Look at that. You could take a picture with this guy. There was a person in the suit, by the way. This is not a statue. This is a man in a suit that was moving around to take pictures with you. So that's an intense job. You have to imagine that's a pretty hot outfit to be in for hours at a time. Yeah. And of course, now Vertigo's back. So that's pretty cool too. Although to me, Vertigo is more than just an imprint. Vertigo was, to me, Karen Berger and her tastes. So I just really hope that whoever is heading up the editorial at Vertigo this time also exhibits exceptional taste, you know, and can also find emerging talent as well as signing big names. Oh, I'm happy for you that you got to take a picture with him. Yeah, a big bathroom break. Not too much more. The Hatsune Miku cosplay, had to take that picture for my nephew again. Bill Sienkiewicz, unfortunately, he's just never there when I swung by. I've met him before. Really great guy. I'm a huge fan. Got to meet David Nakayama, and he knew who I was, which is flattering. But I got a Ninja Turtles variant cover from him, and yeah, David's really had a great year, no question. You know, uh, really engaging style, really dynamic. And it's still his, so he's good. I'd be curious to see more interior art by him, but I'm happy that he's getting so many covers because they're selling comics, you know, and that's important, and I love it. Just a cool statue. Got to meet Michael Golden. I admire Michael Golden a lot. Great artist, hugely influential, in my opinion, to all the '90s image guys. You know, he was before that. I think if you look at Todd McFarlane's work, I've never asked him, but I have to imagine McFarlane was inspired by Michael Golden. I have to imagine. I really liked his work, and I'm of two minds of this. I took a copy of the Nam #1 up to him to get signed, and he smiles and he says $30, and I did pay for it. I mean, I went up to him and I was like, yeah, to me that is worth it. At the same time, that seems a little high to me. I mean, who am I to judge, right? Everybody sets their own value, and I don't believe in undervaluing yourself as an artist. It's just that from what I experienced, most artists were signing either for free or maybe like $5 to $10. Um, I don't know. Maybe I'm being too much of a jerk by even saying that. I did pay it, and I you know, I'm happy that to have gotten him to sign a book and to chat with him. It seemed a little high, but maybe I'm wrong. Thanks for backing me up on that. You do charge what people will pay, and you should. You should. You know, um, it wouldn't be right if you know, I got it signed for free and then I flipped it on eBay. You know, that's not what I'm going to do, but it seems high. That's all yeah, so I'm just of two minds. I'm not trying to call him out either. Like, let's just say that this is just me talking thoughts off the top of my head. It seemed high, but then again, if you walked 100 yards to the side, people are paying hundreds of dollars for like a photo or a signature by, you know, people from movies and TV shows. I don't need to name names. And so why shouldn't a comic book artist at Comic Con also get to charge for that? I get that. Probably. See, I can understand charging for a very specific key issue, though. I can understand that because a key issue might get flipped for a hell of a lot more, right? So I sort of understand for a key issue, and I guess the NAM could be considered a bit of a key issue. So, you know what I'm saying? It's like I'm saying, okay, most artists there are happy to sign because that means they're selling a book, they're promoting themselves, or they're just appreciating the fans and getting the engagement, which is important. But you know, if Ernie Hudson is charging, and I'm just making it up, but like $200 for a signature on like a Ghostbusters photo, why shouldn't somebody charge for a signature in comics too? It's hard to say. It's hard. Good point. Good point. Good point. I just think it's so cool that there is legit Invincible cosplay at this point. It makes me feel so weird to think that like my friends have gotten themselves to the point where there isn't just a comic that they made, but the comic was turned into things like cartoons and toys, and people like to dress up as characters they created. It's really amazing. Got to have a great conversation with Deck. Deck is a really interesting guy with a lot of great ideas, and yeah, I think we'll be seeing some more Old Dog soon. There's a picture of Jeff Darrow drawing. I got to go back and talk to him a few times. Tom King had a big line, as he deserves. He's had a great year. My favorite that he's done this year is definitely Helen of Windhorn. Really cool. But Wonder Woman, it's one of the all-time best runs too. So I'm a fan. Got to meet Scott, and by the way, nice of Scott to pause and talk to me because you can't really see it from this photo, but the line goes all the way around here and then loops back and forth in this corner. This Absolute Batman's pretty big right now. He had a big line. He paused and he there's convention people there to help things move along. And he goes, "Oh, wait, this is a friend. Let me talk to him." And I wasn't going to interrupt the line like that. I was just saying hi as I walked by. Scott is a class act. Nice guy to meet. Nice guy to know. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Just as sort of an interesting event. Look, if Jim Lee is ready to draw a monthly comic, yeah, I'm always going to be there. There's certain artists that I'm always going to show up for something like that. Anyway, I just want to say that as talented as Scott is, very nice human being. Very nice. Oh, there's Eric Larson drawing with his unique technique. He really draws from the whole arm, which they teach you to have more control of your pencil by pulling instead of pushing, and don't use as much wrist movement. Try to use your whole arm to get the full control. While he holds his pencil in a unique way, Eric has a lot of control and he draws fast. It's interesting to watch him draw. I like it. It's a great little education. Unique technique. Scott popped into the Marvel party and I got to chat with him for the first time. Super nice. So nice. By the way, Gavin, your profile art is such a good character. I mean, that really looks like you. That looks great. No kidding. That's really cool. It is mesmerizing. I said, so if If I'm able to, I sit and watch him, like, draw for a little bit. I find it fascinating. I like that Gigan head. I don't think they were selling that, but I wanted it. It almost looks like he's wearing sunglasses or something with this weird light reflection. Probably not a great photo. My friend was like, "There's gotta be a Catwoman from Batman Returns, like the Michelle Pfeiffer one somewhere, right?" Well, eventually I found one. I really couldn't explain to you why the sandworm from Beetlejuice is also part of this, but okay. Well, it looks great. It sincerely does. Uh, look at that. That looks this is a toy. This is just an action figure that's coming out. But the fact that we can do like 6-inch figures with this level of detail is insane. I mean, I grew up with thinking that GI Joes were cool, and they are, but their faces were nowhere near that detailed. That is Vincent Price. Some upcoming Last Ronin figures. Got some, what's this? Baby Moja, baby uh Yi, I think is this one. I will probably get this because I collect the Donatellos. This is from their Christmas special. If you haven't seen that, I made a whole episode on Comic Tropes one Christmas about the Ninja Turtles Christmas special because it is bizarre. So weird. These were kinda cool too, like, they've who made the masks? Ben Cooper used to make, Halloween costumes, and they would just give you, like, a plastic mask and then, like, a plastic smock that would say, like, Flintstones, and I'm like, "Well, Fred Flintstone didn't wear a smock with his own, um, name on it," but that's what they did, and so, like, they're licensing that style for, like, all these sort of horror things where they've got the mask, and then they've got, like, the smock saying what it is. I was like, "That's kinda clever." Do you? Gavin, uh, do you have like, in the '90s, the Donatello in disguise, but with the cloth, trench coat that they only released in England? Because that's my white whale. That's my white whale. That's awesome. I don't know what Christmas special to review this year. Last year, Harry Partridge said, "Hey, I love your Christmas specials about, like, cartoons and things like that are done at Christmas time. If you make one this year, I'll draw the thumbnail." I was like, "Okay." So I did RoboCop, but I don't know what I'd do this year. GI Joe? We'll have to think about that. Tamagotchi. I'm such a sucker. I almost bought a Tamagotchi because, like, they have ones branded, like, with, Spy Family that I like, and I was like, "Ooh, I liked Tamagotchi." I'd probably play it for 10 minutes. Oh, it costs an absolute fortune, Gavin, if you don't have it, like, it's better to send your kid to college than to get that one toy. Okay, okay, I'll think about that. Hey, if I was a kid, like, when I had one originally, I think it was awesome. Dude, you got to meet Vincent Price? That is really, really cool. What a legend. What a legend. Sounds like some people did some really cool things here in the conventions and get-togethers. All these aren't out yet, but I'm a big fan of Dan Dan, newer manga. It's an anime on Netflix if you haven't checked it out. I think it's funny. There's some figures of, like, the main characters. I'll probably get those someday. These were weird but funny. Are those Minions? Is that what that is? Like Minions as X-Men, I guess? I don't know. Oh, here's a little video. That's a bunch of Deadpools doing, the In Sync "Bye Bye Bye" dance, and they were playing that song, and, they did the whole song, just to be clear. I'm just catching them at the end. Just an idea of sort of like what you are seeing for a wave of humanity when you're at these conventions. Really cool Darwin Cook take on Catwoman. I like that design with the outfit, like with the goggles. I'm a big fan of that design. Oh, got to meet this is Peter, and he does a podcast about comics called The Marvelists, and he was here with his friend Jason, who I got to meet and hang out with, and he's an actual WWE referee, so that's pretty cool. He's just into comics, so yeah, that was nice to meet them. I got to meet the master Juanjo Guarnido, Black Sad, folks. Incredible Spanish illustrator. Spent some time working for Disney, but now does comics. If you haven't read Black Sad, great crime comic. It's got anthropomorphic animals as the characters, but the detail is insane. Like, it's just so lush and believable. Just an incredible artist. A real privilege to get to meet him. There wasn't a line, which I consider insane. Like, I consider this guy one of the best out there in the world right now. Really, really, really good. Black Sad is something special. I get to meet these folks, the hosts of Comic Book Couples Counseling. That's a podcast. They do interviews with all the different writers and artists, and these guys were invited to host the Harvey Awards at New York Comic Con. That's a pretty amazing privilege. I've never been asked to do anything like that. I'm very happy for them. They were sweethearts. They were super, super kind and happy, and they're just a beacon of positivity in the industry. They talk about like the techniques and the positives and everything. Yeah. Lurking Jeff Lemire. Oh yeah, Black Sad is incredible. Yep. Great. Yeah. I'm glad so many of you have checked it out. Anyway, it was really lovely to meet these folks. Oh yeah, I didn't even mention that. Like, where I am right now in Seattle, it's maybe like 56 degrees, but over there in New York, it was at least 70 degrees outside. It was pretty warm. I couldn't have worn this hoodie outside. I was wearing it inside, but I couldn't have worn it outside. I got to meet Gail Simone. I think that might be, is that it for some action figures, I guess. But anyway, yeah. Got to do a lot. I'm a lucky guy. Not seen is just, oh, hold on. There's one more I want to show. Who's that? Who's that handsome devil? That happened right at the end. I don't know if you're still here, but I got to meet Gavin, and Gavin is great. We talked a little bit about his comics. I was very enamored with his cool Spider-Man shirt, and he showed me a hilarious photo with like a ton of pros all wearing the same shirt. That was great. Gavin, just wishing you super success. It was fun to talk to somebody from New Orleans. That was really cool. Very, very cool. I miss New Orleans a lot. I loved my time down there, by the way. I loved my time down there. So many great restaurants, so many great things. Just a great way of living. People are really like chill, I thought. I liked it. Yeah, it looks like Soups is photobombing us. Thank you. Yeah, it was nice to meet everybody. That's one thing like that I can't really like show somehow is like, all the people that stopped me. It was definitely the most of any convention I've gone to, and I guess it just grows each time I go because the channel grows, but it's not something I necessarily expect or anything. All I can say is I try to like focus on the person and listen to them and get to understand like, what they're into. Because I'm very grateful. I'm very grateful. It was a great convention. Tell you what, there's a little bit more I can show you though. A little bit more. No, I'll have to do it like this layout. I'll just show you real quick a few of the things that I picked up because I didn't pick up that much. So this won't take too long, but I did stop by the Abrams booth, and they had Cormac McCarthy's The Road as adapted by bande dessinée superstar Manu Larsenet. This has been made into a film. but it was, of course, originally a novel, and it's a post-apocalyptic book. Uh, it's a very dark, haunting story. There's not a lot of dialogue to it. There's some, but not a lot. And it's about survival, a father and son story, and just how far a parent is willing to go to give their child the best that they can with whatever the circumstances are. It's quite beautiful, quite beautiful. The artwork, while it's like dark stuff, like just the technique is really sharp, and there's just this like sense of decay around it, which I think is like accomplished with some really great techniques of like splatter or spatter, you might call it, and some really nice brush techniques to just sort of make it look like there's always ash in this world. You know, it's a decaying, decrepit world, and so things are always sort of just a little cloudy, a little dusty in the air. I really do recommend this, actually. The story is like, look, Cormac McCarthy is an acclaimed, masterful writer. If you enjoyed, for instance, No Country for Old Men, I think you'd also appreciate The Road. It is a little dark and depressing, but it tells something still real about our connections with others and about family. And that's a positive, actually. Quite a good book. Quite a good book. I'm glad that we got it translated into English. It was a pleasure. So I do recommend that. I stopped by Jeremy Bastion's table, Cursed Pirate Girl, and I guess you can't see that super well. It'll get fuzzy if I hold it up here. But I got an enamel pin of like a cool pirate design that he did. Just a skull and crossbones with a pirate's hat. That was nice. It's more faithful to the book. It's definitely adapted from the book. Yeah. What else did I get, though? Let's see. I didn't get too many, like, things, I guess, but I did get, like, one of those cute Godzillas. It's still in the bag, whatever. I thought that the one of him munching on a train was pretty great. So I'm just going to put that up here on a shelf by my desk, and I'll just get to look at that while I do a show with you folks. That's for me. I got a weird Ninja Turtle statue, I guess you'd call it, by a hold on, did I break something? Oh my god. I think I did break something. Darn it. Okay. Well, that wasn't fun to find out, but this is by just a street artist. I broke Donatello's staff here. I'm gonna have to glue that back together. I was worried about that. It's just cool, sort of. It's by Sjogren. Kid Robot put this out. I don't know. I collect Ninja Turtles. This wasn't exclusively Donatello, but of course, Donatello is the one whose staff got broken. But I think I can actually glue that, and it shouldn't be too big a deal. It's not like I resell this stuff. It's for me. I'm a little bummed, but I can fix that. I can fix it. I can fix anything. I'll put you over here. I'll get back to you. Yeah, it's a cool design, right? I told you guys that I went to that 70s Atlas booth, so I got one of their Mego dolls. I've never had a Mego doll before. They're posable and stuff. I don't know. It was free, you know? Like, I'm not going to say no to a free comic book action figure. I'm not that strong. I'll fix that later. Box is just a little bent up. Devilina is the one that they're trying to make a movie out of right now. The Daughter of the Devil. I don't know that it's definitely Vampirella-esque. I think we can say that. I think we can say that. This one you're saying? Yeah. Oh, yeah. Free is the best price. Yeah. I think I should be able to fix that thing, yeah. Put that to the side here. What else did I get? Oh, they were giving this away. Gail Simone had, of course, a great run of Red Sonja with Dynamite. Well, she has written her first novel, a book with words and everything. And this is sort of like a galley copy, like for press and stuff. But if you got in line to get a signature from her, Gail and her team would just give you one. And yeah, she signed it to me. I appreciate that. Nice to meet Gail in person. I admire Gail a lot. I think she's a great writer. I honestly think Uncanny X-Men right now is fantastic. She's doing a great idea. She's doing great. So yeah, that was fun. I'll take free. You don't have to twist my arm. The price is right. I did buy this. There's a Donatello. Do you have this one, Gavin? Do you have this one? This is a newer one. A previews exclusive. This is Donatello with the design before Eastman and Laird refined it. Eastman and Laird amused each other one day. Peter Laird drew this, and Kevin Eastman drew this to sort of like go like, oh, what a funny idea, you know, a slow, awkward turtle as a ninja, and then they sort of created a cover idea for it before they decided to make it as a comic, and so now they've created a toy based on that original design. Black and white, it's cool. What a novel idea. That's why it's in black and white. Anyway, that's cool. I got some comics, didn't I? Yes. Got some more comics. Black Sad. Got that one signed by Master Juanjo Guarnido. Latest issue. They All Fall Down Part 1. Here, I'll just show you, since I was talking it up, like, what does the artwork look like? Well, there you go. There you go. Super detailed. Lush. Colors really are amazing. They pop. Super expressive characters. And the mysteries are just to die for. Great detective work. Hey, look at who's here. Oh, and earlier I was showing a picture and talking about us. You've inspired me to go down a path for my next couple episodes on comic tropes. It was great seeing you, man. I hope you had a great convention too. I think you did. And I hope you had a great visit in New York. Sorry about all the urine and weed smells that my country had to offer you. But yeah. I don't know when the next part of this is coming out, but it was a real privilege to get to meet that guy. All right, what else have I got here? A few of these are things I bought. A few of them were given away. And like I say, if it's free, it's for me. From Brazil, Tiago Parma gave me his little sort of sampler of art that he did. I wish him success. There's the NAMM #1 that I got signed by Master Michael Golden. Just picked this up because the latest issue of #DRCL is out. This manga by Shinichi Sakamoto. You have rarely seen artwork this detailed. Now, it is done digitally, and I suspect he works at a very large scale and then shrinks it down. But it is just insane how much detail there is in this book. And it's very creepy. It's a very disturbing take on the Dracula mythos that just puts all of the main characters in a private school. So they're all children, which makes them sort of a little more vulnerable, you know, than being adults. At least adults can sort of fight back against Dracula. I mean, these kids are fighting back, but they're kids. It's a really good book. I like it. I recommend it. Oh, Derek Kirk Kim, I told you, big fan of this book. I don't like taking free stuff, but Derek did offer me this because he used a pull quote from me on the back there. You can't really see that too well, but I have a quote about how much it says, a master class in pacing with gorgeous creature designs and environmental vistas, highly recommended. But this is just one of the prettiest books this year, one of the most inventive in terms of like what they're doing, blending maybe sort of supernatural and sci-fi and apocalyptic fiction. Really, really good. You saw in the pictures I got that sci-fi cool book by Zach Kaplan. I picked up this for free at the what is it? Okami Imaki, whatever. Free. Somebody that just like watches my show and was working at the Zenoscope booth gave me his books Pooh versus Bambi. I'll have to take a look at that later. I don't know what that is, but thank you for that. Like I said, Bad Idea was giving out a free book, and Planet Death has look at that. That's really nice art. I'll probably pick this will probably be the first Bad Idea book that I buy because I thought that looked really cool to me. Who gave me this? Oh, Kelly McMahon. Kelly McMahon. Kelly McMahon did the graphic design for this book. It's written by Matt Groom, who's done a bunch of stuff like in Power Rangers and the Massiveverse. Can't wait to look at that. That is just a flyer. I bumped into Lewis Southard, who I supported Lewis's Kickstarter for a book on like a piece of comics history. It hasn't come out yet, but he also writes Flash Gordon Quarterly, and he gave me that. That's very kind of him. I bumped into one of my favorite people, artist Isaac Goodhart, who draws the Christopher Chaos book at Dark Horse. It's written by Tate Bromball from an idea by James Tynion, and this Halloween special it actually has a story written by James Tynion himself. But Isaac is an incredible artist. Really, really cool. Flash. Savior of the Universe. They gave you a copy of Devilina at that Atlas booth. They also gave this. I was more excited to get this. A reprint of Wolf the Barbarian signed by Larry Hama. Cool. I appreciate it. It's funny. They had like 2 Barbarian books at Atlas. One was Wolf the Barbarian, and one is called Iron Jaw, which is like Conan, except he looks like Baron Underbite from the Venture Brothers. He's got like a metal jaw. And I was saying like, okay, in and of itself, kind of whatever, an idea. But if you like updated that and said that like that Iron Jaw was a gay barbarian and he was like submissive, then it becomes a much more engaging story because of his personal tragedies. Like, I cannot please my lover. My life is cursed. It makes me angry. Makes me want to pillage the land. I think that should be his, internal conflict. That Iron Jaw should be a tragic gay barbarian. And I'm not trying to be mean. I think that's just what he should be. Got to talk to Donny Cates a little. I read the first couple issues of Crossover and then I fell off. So I got the trade. Hold on, I paid $5 for the signature. Where I think he forgot to sign it. He did. Oh my God, that's funny. Because that was one of the places where they charged for the signature, but we were talking. Oh my God. I paid $5 and I didn't get the signature. I'm okay with it. I'm happy to support Donnie. Hopefully Donnie will be on the show at some point soon. That's funny. Here's a fun story, okay? So, Hench Girl. This is by an artist and writer named Kristen Goodsnook. And Kristen also has some books through Scholastic, their graphics imprint. Kudos. So here's what's funny. Kristen's husband, is being her promoter at the table, and he goes, Chris, I come over. He's like, we watch your show. Oh, that's so flattering. I've heard of Hench Girl before. Like we talk. And that was nice of them to wave me over and talk. It meant a lot. And my friends were with them. And my friend Evan's daughter goes, "You guys look really familiar." And they pause and they're like, "Yeah, you look familiar too." And I'll just cut a long story short. They all live in the same apartment building or co-op building. They're neighbors. So that was funny. So small world, right? And you'd think I'd be done. That's everything I got. That's everything I either was given or paid for. Let me move this to the side because I've got one more thing to show you, which I haven't looked at myself yet. Okay, so this is a surprise for me too. But a viewer was in New York, not going to the Comic-Con, but in New York at the same time that I was. He came from Poland, and he said, "I have a bunch of Polish comics that I want to give to you. I have not looked at these yet," but he dropped these off at my hotel. So we'll take a quick look together. He just said he just happened to have some that like represent the variety. These aren't necessarily meant to represent the best Polish comics, but these are all Polish comics. Sort of a vampire thing. I can't read Polish, but fortunately for me, I do have a friend. You guys know Mark Englert, the artist and comic book artist, printmaker, and colorist? He does a lot of stuff in comics. He lives in Poland. His wife is Polish, and she might be willing to translate some of this for me if I make it up to her somehow. We'll see. That's interesting. Let's see what this is. Wow. That really strikes me as like 1950s, 1960s animated style. I don't know what to make of this. Poland does love comics. I did get a bunch of loot. I saw that like LeBron was saying like, he wants to read more comics, and he got responses from all the publishers. Just so, yeah. Yeah, hold on. Something froze. Bear with me. I'm having trouble. Okay, there we go. Yeah, AI might be able to translate it. That's true. It's just that like it never gets the context very well. Like when you use AI for translating, it might get some of the words, but it like can never get the verbiage. That looks closer to like sort of a traditional comic. What is this? Priests versus devils? What? I cannot tell for sure exactly what's going on. A lot of comedy, though. I guess the Polish really must like comedy stuff. Oh, look, that actually has some English on it. And it's done in like an EC Comics style. That's interesting. Is this like a featuring Zarlak? I don't know what to make of that. Yeah, it's like a Shark Man superhero. Huh. But without being able to understand the language, I can't even quite fathom. I feel like I can tell some of like what's going on. Is this guy like asking for like steroid injection or something? Doesn't that seem like what he's sort of looking for? I don't know. It's not about that. This is interesting that they put some English for like the titles. You know, in Japan, uh, they've got a bunch of different like alphabets, right? You've got katakana, hiragana, and kanji, but they also use English from time to time. And my understanding is that they think that it looks classy. So I wonder if that's what's going on here too. Is that like English maybe looks classy? This has no dialogue, so this just yeah, I can actually read this one. Huh, cute. Wow, this one has no length. Okay, so that one I can understand. Some metal. I know that like metal is super popular. Excuse me, in the Nordic countries. I wonder if metal is super popular in Poland too. It's definitely about some sort of a metal band. Trying to look for like the similarities between any of this, but like this is a wide variety of art styles so far. A little bit of stuff with devils. That's kind of cool. All right. Spoiler for those of you who haven't read Hush, Shiver, and the Black Hounds. I just spoiled it. Beats me what any of that says, but I will say that's a pretty cover. Look at this. Artwork reminds me a little of like Matt Groening when he did Life in Hell before he did Simpsons. A little bit of that. Okay. This is a dude, this guy gave me way too much, but okay. It's nice. That's definitely very indie. This has some vibes of something that would come out through like Drawn and Quarterly, right? A little bit. It's like modern, but like reminiscent of like 70s underground comics. Wait, this one's signed. I hope he's not giving me like his comics. I hope that like he didn't spend too much. Wow. This is like printed on really nice paper and has like great uh colors and stuff like that, but the artwork is obviously very sort of indie. And again, like more stuff with like demons and stuff. They must be really into the supernatural over there. Yeah. Oh yeah, maybe I can see a little of that too. This one's older. This one looks cool. Oh yeah. Look at that. That reminds me of like, a lot of 70s Italian comics actually. This style. It's not quite the same, but it's definitely reminiscent. If you've ever like looked at even stuff that's more recent like Dylan Dog or I don't know, Blueberry, it's just got that like clean but detailed style, like very realistic, very it's like they've got action, but they don't push like the dynamic angles like we do in American comics, like Jack Kirby style. Huh. How interesting. There's still a few more. What's this? This looks like a stoner's book. It's like Vaughn Bodie or something like that. All I can do is sort of get like the gist of what they're going for, not like anything beyond that. Whoa, look at that. Um, hey Chris, sorry I missed you at New York Comic Con. I did get to meet Mr. Mahfood though, and got an awesome TMNT print from him. He was super nice, and we did speak about how awesome you are for a bit. Larry, that's so kind of you. I'm glad you got to talk to Jim. He's incredible. I'm so glad I got to get to know Jim better. Um, Boy, I feel like the comics industry is overall like full of like not just talented people but kind people. I really do feel that. Panaropa versus COVID-19. Do I even want to read this one? They Poland has gone very far to the right, which is bizarre when you look into their history. But I don't know. Maybe this is like, positive. I can't. I don't know. I can't tell what this is like. There's monsters and aliens and gods. Two more? Yeah, two more. That almost looks like their take on asterisk, right? Asterix, I mean, asterisk. So a note to come later. A note on those details. Yeah, this totally looks like them trying to do something like Asterix, or even like more innocent manga by like Tezuka and stuff for kids. Huh. Now this is definitely it's got to be inspired by Asterix. The more I look at it, and wait, what's this? Yeah, this is all one thing. This looks more like an art book. Posta Poland, a terribly angry son who hates everything. Wow. All right. Well, this is actually in English. Weird. The style doesn't remind me of this, but like the actual subject matter reminds me of the surreal bio horror of guys like Giger, famous for the alien designs. There's some weird body horror stuff going on with this, but I admire that. This one actually, like it's interesting that it's the last one, because actually I really find this the most interesting. Doesn't hurt that it's in English. Well, we'll see. Some Polish comics, very very kind. Yeah, reminds me of like that Asterix. Yeah. So that was a recap of what I was able to pick up and experience at New York Comic Con. I hope that was somewhat interesting to everybody. Let's see here. Bear with me. I'm going to see if there were any other pictures of my time in New York that I can share. Okay, hold on. This is a kind of a fun one. Jim and I took a picture for Trash Movie Bonanza. I feel like I should sort of draw this and Jim should ink it, like so that he can push these angles even further. I was walking through Times Square. This is an actual police officer directing traffic. He has an actual badge, but he was also in Captain America cosplay. So beats me how you get permission to do that. But that was cool. That was interesting. And then I guess just being in Times Square and walking around. Look at how many, like, this is like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Mickey Mouses, and all of them have their heads up. I don't know how that's supposed to be charming to kids. Oh, wait, there's another one over here. This is like what Times Square has become, is that like these people hustle you for like a photo, and then like on the rare occasions a tourist is like, yeah, I want my kid to get a picture with Mickey Mouse, they all jump in. So like I would see, like I saw one photo that had 2 Spider-Mans and 3 Mickey Mouses, and I'm like, does a kid like comprehend exactly what's going on at that point? Because if you went to the mall at Christmas time and you brought your kid up to take a picture with Santa, and then a second Santa walks around the corner to take the picture along with it, you'd be like, the kid would be like, what's going on here? Anyway, just thought I'd show that. I didn't get a chance to go to Brooklyn. I was interested in potentially seeing Desert Island Comics, but unfortunately I wasn't able to make it out there. So hopefully someday in the future, we'll see. Oh, here's one thing I'll show. There's me hanging out with, like I said, Walter Jones, the original Black Power Ranger. I go, dude, wasn't it like 30 years ago? He's like 30 years ago is when I started like doing Power Rangers. I go, you look fantastic, dude. He goes, I'm 58. I go, you don't look it. You don't look anywhere close to it. He looks fantastic. He's definitely taking good care of himself. It was a fun night. Really nice guy. Really nice guy. I hope he does get into like writing some comics. I think he'd have a really good audience for that. I it, you would never like go like, who's that? He's taking care of himself. He's taking like he's in shape and he's taking care of himself. And yeah, kudos. I admire it. I thought that I had some pictures from the Mike Mignola Gallery and Kodansha House experience. So I was just looking to see if I do have that to share with you guys. Give me a moment to sort through some pictures that I took. Oh, okay. Yeah, here's a few. Let me pull this up. So there's me at the Mike Mignola Gallery. Just a couple of these, but there's some of his Hellboy stuff. Very interesting, like looking at it up close to see, like he uses a couple different types of ink. You can tell that some of it's like like big pens, and some of it's like more like a brush or something. There's some of his painted work. I really liked looking at the painted work up close. Gorgeous. Really, really has some great texture to it. Organic, Um, and he just, people notice his style, right? Mike Mignola has a great style. But another thing he has is a great sense of composition, in my opinion. I think he really lays things out to draw the eye around and around, and you keep looking at it. Yeah, that's what it was called. I think it's still going for a couple more days if you live in New York. Um, and that's Mike, and that's his wife, and this is the gallery owner, and then these were just like other people that were there. But yeah, I did get to talk to them a little bit one on one. You get to see a little bit more. It's a good sized gallery, folks. It's a good sized gallery. Definitely recommend it. And then there was one other set of photos. Oh, yeah. So I went to Kodansha House for that pop up, like I said, and there's me in the Akira jacket on the Akira bike. Pretty silly. That's what it looks like on the outside. Like, that's pretty impressive. Some of their famous books, and you just walk through them. You literally walk through them. They've got some art like reprinted on like poster board and stuff, but it's still cool to look at. And then they have these for like a lot of their big comics. They'll have like a little bit of a history of that book or something about the artist, and a bunch of like key panels and pages represented. So I recommend it. That the Mignola Gallery and the Kodansha House pop-up were both free. So I felt like that was time well spent. Let's see. Yeah, I supported the Kickstarter for the Mignola documentary. So I saw that ages ago. Very, very good. Very, very interesting. A lot to learn. Anyway, yeah, I bet it is late over there on the East Coast. Just wanted to do something kind of fun. I know that this isn't like as big as, what do you call it, like my regular weekly show, but I started thinking like, I want to talk about New York Comic Con, but if I show all this stuff on Monday's show with the amount of news that I have, we'll be here all night. It'll be way too late. So I decided to just sort of do this special little thing and segment it off. Very grateful that so many of you stopped into the chat to follow along. Thank you to all the people at the convention that I got to have conversations with. You really made this like just the most special convention I think I've done. Oh, good. I'm glad it was a fun surprise. And oh, great. I got to sit through some Chris live streaming. Honey, get me my whiskey. One of my favorites. One of my personal favorites. So, yeah, love Mike Mignola's work. Really do. Really do. Got some comics that I'm very happy with. I can't wait to read all this stuff. I don't know when I'm going to have the time to read absolutely all of it. I really don't, but it was a good convention. Really, really good. Oh, good. I'm glad. I'm glad. It was fun for me to reminisce and about like what was just a few days ago. But I'll also say real quick. Uh, I don't know if Jim will watch this, but maybe he'll have it on in the background. Jim Mafood, uh, he got me a ticket or badge to go in for the second day of the convention because originally I was going with my wife, right? And I'd intentionally not booked anything to do at all on Sunday. That was going to be a day where we could do anything she wanted to do, certain galleries, art stores, who knows? Like, whatever you want to do. You're letting me go to the convention on Saturday. Sunday will be whatever you want to do. And then she felt sick. So I'm like, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? Well, Jim, gave me a badge to get in, and I got to do the convention for a second day, and I got to meet a lot of wonderful people because of that. So just wanted to say thank you. But thank you all for you guys watching the stream, adding comments and asking questions. It means a lot. It was fun. It was fun. There is going to be on this channel a live stream on Monday. I'll obviously have a lot of the news that came out of New York Comic Con to talk about. A good amount of comic book news, really interesting stuff to talk about. We'll have a guest on that episode as well, and I'm excited. Somebody I'm a fan of, but also on this channel before Halloween, Jim and I will have another Trash Movie Bonanza episode coming to you all. And other than that, I'm going to get to work on putting out a small comic tropes episode about the best horror comics of 2024. So going to get to work on that. Thank you, everybody. I will see you very soon. You get one salute on each side, and you get the devil's salute. Thanks, everybody. See you Monday. Take care.